I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Foundation. I'm Howard Grant, grateful to be with you. Always grateful to be in your company as we continue to be able to jam with you and talk about national issues for growth and development and identify where we are. This is not what's supposed to be on this screen. Hold on. Oh, Lord. This is not what's supposed to be on this screen. Please forgive me. That's my old consultancy logo. Please forgive me for that. You think you got it together? Okay, here we go. Praise God. We got it now. Okay. I hope you guys are good, man. I hope everything is good with you out there as you continue to be able to jam and talk about where we are from a national standpoint, being able to identify these things and really make a determination as to whatever. I think we got to be able to make a determination, some determination. That's exactly where we were. We left off yesterday being able to have this conversation. We talked about it. My baby girl, she's 18 now. I told her and my son ad nauseum, just being able to talk to them last evening, the importance of being able to register to vote. And so I hope you guys are out there and prepared to vote. I hope that you're registered. I hope that you're prepared to vote. You hear me? It's time to get to the voting. It's time to get to the decision. It's time to identify who we choose to be our representative, our leadership in the next dispensation of this country's history. And this is the country's current position, but in due time and due season, it will be history. And so we're looking to make sure that everybody's in their particular position and being able to make those things happen like that. It is a wonderful day, and I am always grateful to be here with you. There's a lot of things happening around the world. There's a lot of things happening with us here as we continue to be able to talk about these things. Yesterday's paper, I wanted to be able to identify, amplify, and really be able to converse with you about something that came out. And being able to make a determination as to whether or not the party is finding itself, the organization is finding itself being able to be torn at the seams. Who am I talking about? The Free National Movement. The Free National Movement, yeah. The thing about it is that I can remember historically we've been able to take digs at the Free National Movement during a particular season, and they found themselves victorious. I couldn't tell you that's not going to happen now. I couldn't tell you that the Free National Movement is not going to win the next general election. It'll be silly for me to say anything of the sort. That's just not my position. That's not my desire to be able to identify. But if I'm going to tell you the truth, there's some things that we're going to need to look at. And we're going to have to make this kind of a determination as to whether or not this is the type of leadership that we're looking for in this country, in this position. I want to play a little something for you. Let me see if I can get that first. I don't know whether or not this is an audio or whether or not this is just a written piece that was given to ZNS. So let's look at this. Now, in the newspaper yesterday, we've been able to talk about these things. We didn't have a chance to do it, right? I know y'all just watch me take off my watch and my ring. This is historically what I've been doing anytime I get to work, right? Anytime I get to work on a radio or any space that I work in. Because, I don't know, I guess it made it a habit. Anytime I type, I just don't have that kind of a free-flowing something. So I always take off my watch in my ring. So I don't know, it felt like sort of carpal tunnel, and so I took off my watch, right? And then my ring felt like restriction, so I took the ring off. So when you see me jamming and really being able to talk with you like this, and I take off my ring and my watch, there is a subconscious thing in my head that says we're going to work. Take off your watch and your ring. Take off your watch and your ring. That's just what it is. I don't do it on ZNS. Or any other formal networks like that, because that's what it is. But I feel like we've built a rapport between us, and you get me, you understand what's happening. Okay, so I'm not gonna fight you, all right? In the newspaper yesterday, more specifically, we'd been able to look at Janet Bostwick, renowned in the organization. She has been akin to growth, development, opportunity, and significant first for the organization, right? She has been the guiding star towards the perceived or the idea of progression among women voters in this country, as she would have been the first member of parliament elected in this particular state. So let's talk about Janet Bostwick, a pioneer figure in the Bahamian politics amidst her own parting. The Free National Movement faces an uphill fight in the next general election, whilst expressing sadness over the former Prime Minister Dr. Hubert Minnis's decision to run as an independent candidate. I don't think that's where the sadness comes in for me. I think the sadness is rejection. But as we look back at it, the antics of a spoiled brat can't get you far. I just want to be decent with you. It can't get you far. It can't get you far. The antics of a spoiled brat, it can't get you far. It was an expectation for them to be able to find themselves for a position for growth and development. That didn't necessarily happen. So let's just read further, right? And so she says that Dr. Hubert Minnis's decision to run independent as an independent candidate in Kalani is one of the things that brings her sadness. He says, I think that they have a strong chance to win. They. Okay, so she separates herself from them. So they. Who is they? Because we, in a particular capacity, is the Free National Movement. So they. Who the they is? Anyway. So he says, I think that they have a strong chance to win. She told reporters on Friday, adding that I think that it is an uphill fight. This is a strong thing. I think that it's an uphill fight. I think they have a chance to win. That's two different scenarios. Let's just do this. I just want to dissect it for the purposes of what exists on the paper. She starts off in the paper. It says, I think that they have a chance to win. Okay? And then she goes further and says, I think it is an uphill fight, but I think that they have a chance of winning. And then she goes on A4. This was yesterday's paper. This is not today's paper. We didn't have a chance to chop this down yesterday. So let's take an opportunity to be able to chop it down today. And then she goes on to say, Dame Janet, who made history in 1982 as the first woman elected to Parliament in the Bahamas and later as an Attorney General and acting Prime Minister, she was saddened by Dr. Minnis's decision, but acknowledged that he has the right to make that choice, and expressed hope and to move. I'm sorry, and the move will not diminish his legacy that he's built. It goes further and says that I'm sorry that he has decided to do that, but it is his decision to make. That's what he says. He says, Dr. Minnis made great contributions to our party. And she's always been one of the persons that actually has been able to speak with transparency on matters. She's been one of the persons who've done that. I came up with a concept in the Free National Movement. When I was looking for the nomination in West Grand Bahama, I think I have it right here. I can show it to you. Right here. Let's check it out. I think I have it right here. I can look at it. I did this. I can't believe it. Yeah. I can't believe it. Yeah. Let's do this. Okay. Can you see this? I did this in 2017. I was trying to get the nomination for the Free National Movement in West Grand Bahama. More specifically, I created a concept and I guessed exactly what's what. I guess it blurred. I don't know why it's blurred out, but anyway. This is the campaign vision and the bullet points associated with this campaign vision. I did this in 2016. Now, with this, it gave me the candidacy application. I put the candidacy application in. Look at this. Y'all think I just play. I don't play games, I just do this. Like, I don't pretend with it. I don't want you to believe that we out here to pretend with these things. Let's do it. And so if you could see this, then I would have been able to put this information together. It started to talk about West Grand Bahama voted disconnect. And then it gave me the stats. I gave you Pakeisha Edgecombe, 544 votes. I gave you Wallace in 2002. I gave you Wallace in 2007. And I started to be able to talk to you about the disconnect that existed in the constituency during this particular era from 2002 to 2016-17, right? And so I put this together, right? And I put it all together and I created this, right? So it was a printable something. Then I made some pillars. And then one of the pillar was an inspirational pillar. The other pillar was like a conservation pillar, and then the other one was a proprietary pillar, and then it was a modernization pillar, right? So all of these particular concepts that we came up with for West Grand Bahama during this particular time is what we actually put forward, right? And then we put the campaign approach. Now, I don't know why the language ain't in there. And then I put a ratification speech. Yeah, I made 4 speeches. So I put the campaign approach and how we're going to be able to do it. Then I put the ratification speech. Now, you could only see the headings for these stuff. You don't see the Free National Movement. You don't see these things, right? You could only see the headings. So it's a ratification speech, and we were able to do that, right? And then the content was face value, right? Candidacy application, the resume, the fair and balanced, the statistical breakdown, the vision and bullet points, the campaign approach, the fundraising concept, how we can be able to raise funds, the vision, the resource center of how we can be able to develop these particular things, right? I did this. I did this. Okay, so I created the concept, I created the idea, I gave the content, I gave you all these particular things. As you can see, it was about 24 pages. So it was a nice little something, right? Nice little thick little something that we put together, and it was nice, right? I gave the statistical breakdown. I spoke about these particular things. I gave the content. I gave all of these things, right? And I laid it down accordingly. I laid it down, and I when I went into the Free National Movement, you can give me a call, 827-0111, if that's you texting. You can be able to give me a call if you're doing that. When I went into the Free National Movement and I created this, and I guess it just can give me this in a loop. When I went into the Free National Movement and I created this and I presented it to them and I say that these are the concepts, ideas, and the positions that we have. These are what it is and blah, 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 blah. And I went into the Candidates Committee. Now, if you remember in 2017, 16, 17, during that particular time, as we were preparing ourselves for ratification in the Free National Movement, what happened is that 2 persons who had formally put in information into the caucus, into the council. Okay, so your responsibility would be to be able to put this information into council and let council see exactly what you're doing and so forth and so on. You have to be able to take this kind of a course to make these things happen. I know you could see me a little bit darker, but I can change the camera in a minute. And so it'll be on me, so this should be a little bit better, right? So essentially, your responsibility would be to be able to do these things and check it out accordingly, right? Essentially, that's what it should be. How the setup should be, and all these things like that. Essentially, that's what it was. Now, when they called me into the Candidates Committee and being able to identify that, they had Joshua Sayers, they had C.A. Smith, they had Dr. Oh, God, I can't remember her name. I can't remember. I think it's Dr. Hall. I can't remember. Anyway, she was there, right? And then they had Janet Boswick. All these persons were part of the campaign committee. And so I came in with 4 envelopes, like 4, not envelopes, 4 folder leaves, right? I came in with the folder leaves. I came in with everything formally set up and done like that. And so when I set it up like that, let me see. Did you remember I ran for chairman? Did you remember I ran for chairman of the Free National Movement? This is an old jump drive I had. It's an old jump drive I had. But anyway, that's it there, right? So essentially, I'm telling you all of this so you could be able to understand what we would have done. And so we created that. There's the content insert, right? It's an old thing. I don't even bother with this no more. But anyway, so I'm using this now. I didn't have another for my thing. So we went in there, had a great conversation. And in the midst of the conversation, I presented everything what I do and, what my thoughts were and what the desires were for the constituency and my love for the constituency and the ideas that I had, my relationship, that I had finances, I had capital, I had access to capital. I probably was going to get about $55,000, that including what the party gave me. I still was going to win. I was going to mash them up. I was going to win. It didn't make a difference. I was going to win. I was going to win. You put me on the ticket, I was going to win that. Trust me, right? But anyway, long story short, I presented her with one of the, Janet Boswick, I presented her with one of the folders. And she flipped through the folders. C.A. Smith looked at it and threw it down. And he already had his mind on what he wanted to do. Joshua, I don't think Joshua's with us anymore. But he looked at it and he put it down. No one looked at it, right? Except the two women in the room. And so Janet Boswick, she says, Howard, this is extremely impressive. I want you to know that I am absolutely impressed with what you've done. Now, you didn't see all the breakdown. So I had graphs, not just a pie chart. I had graphs. I had the frequency and concepts and ideas of what the expectations are. I had everything laid out. I put the science down. I put a theoretical concept down. I put the approach down. I put everything down. This is pre-ChatGPT. Don't even play with me. Don't even play with me. I put the whole thing down, right? And Janet Boswick says, Howard, this is one of the most impressive things that I've ever seen in politics. Those people who aspire, they don't do this. Those people who wish to come in this position, they don't do this. This is truly impressive. This is what Janet says to me. I'm telling you. That's what Janet Boswick says to me. Right? I was flattered by her. I was flattered, right? And I was like, oh man, Janet, I thank you so very kindly. I really do appreciate it, Ms. Boswick. It is, it's truly an honor and a privilege to even sit before you. You know, I gone into the lotioning. Let's get that out the way, right? Let's get it out the way, please. Let's get to the lotioning. And so I said, I want to thank you so very kindly for the service that you've rendered to country and blah, 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 right? And I said, yeah. So CA was like, wrap it up. I think he was lead in the space. So I said, okay, thank you all so much for the opportunity. Nothing they asked me I couldn't answer. Nothing they asked me about the constituency. Nothing they asked me about politics, my position, why this or whatever the hell they asked me, I was able to answer, and I answer with conviction. And so, Janet gave me sort of an encouraging word. And I was like, okay, I like that, right? So I said, well, okay. I pray that all goes well. I pray to hear back from you. So CA said, pray. You sound like you need to go into the church instead of politics, sir. But I know I was screwed at that point, right? At this moment, yeah. So I knew that was it. And, in politics, you play so stupid, like you don't know. People want you to play stupid. After they then screw you over, talk about your bar, the information, and reach back to you. And now, when they see you, they play dead stupid. Hey, what's up? How you doing, man? How things? So didn't you just tell me about my behind over across the street? Didn't you just cuss me out over there? But let that by, because sometimes you got to put these things in the past. When it benefiting you, put it in the past. Huh? Otherwise, you dealing with that. You ignoring me, you turning your head, you're doing these things. And that's what's happened. That's what's happened over the years, right? So I find myself in this kind of a position where I have a tremendous respect for Janet Boswick. And I never see her as a part of the fray, as a part of the political fray, just being able to fall in line with what's being said. And so I always see her as a beacon, a guide, a light, someone who actually embodies a true sense of conviction that wishes to see and do the right thing in politics. That's how I vision her. I vision Maurice Moore in that particular capacity also. I'm going to be very honest with you. These are the people who I truly respect in the organization. Janet Boswick, Maurice Moore. I have a level of respect I have for him. You can't. Listen, I enjoy him, man. I enjoy him. I really do. I really do. And my relationship with the respect that I render, or the respect that I retain, hold on to, for Hubert Ingram, has fluctuated over the years. It has. If he had found himself in the position being able to contribute the way that Janet Boswick or Maurice Moore has, I think I would have been able to have a higher regard from him from a political standpoint. However, his relentless intrusion into the political fray of the day, into the narrative that exists in this particular time, this dispensation, I think is more harm than good. If you ask me, I think it's more harm than good. And so I've always, it sounds almost, to me, it sounds almost as though I am battling with how I should approach what I say about Hubert Ingram. But there is a level of volatility, political and otherwise, that exists with and in Hubert Ingram that is unexplainable to me. I don't understand why. I just don't understand why. It's almost like Trump in this war. And no one understands why. It is a necessary evil in his mind, but no one understands why. No one understands why. And so I look at this and I just kind of make this kind of determination in myself. And I'm looking at this and I see that Janet has a very, very strong position. She says there's an uphill battle. She acknowledges the disunity ahead of the election, but says that the FNM is positioned for victory. Anybody who get on the starting line is positioned for victory. Anybody who get in the starting box, anybody who take that posture, anybody who gets up and run, bam, after the gun is shot, is in a position for victory. Let's just be very clear with this. But the endurance, the determination, the focus, the training, the preparation, so forth and so on, is what leads you to victory. And sometimes even those things don't trump it's just not your day. It's just not your day. It's just not your day. So everyone's poised for victory. Yeah, everyone's positioned for victory. But there can only be one victor. There can only be one victor. The question is whether or not that'll be the Free National Movement. Janet Boswick would have been able to say what she says in the newspaper, and we've been able to identify that yesterday. And we would have been able to look into the papers at the same time. And we would have seen this. Now, I don't know. Let me see.
Is ticking toward the next general election, and while the Free National Movement believes it has a chance to win, one of its most respected voices says it's not going to be an easy feat. Aldia Cooper has more on the story.
As the opposition Free National Movement prepares for its official 2026 campaign launch at the Bahama Resort this weekend, there's controversy already brewing on whether or not the party will be able to secure an election win. However, the party's leadership appears very confident. FNM Chairman Dr. Dwayne Sands admits that while there may have been differences within the party, the focus right now is on winning the next general election.
Watch this.
The base of the party is intact. We heard some people, the Free National Movement did in the previous administration. It's one of the reasons why the former leader is not running.
That's a lie.
And so, we have acknowledged the hurt, the pain that we have created.
All this is garbage.
We are sincerely sorry. And
garbage.
The FNM is under new management with Michael Pintard.
Mother sick.
We are a different Free National Movement. We are once again true to the roots of this great organization.
His comments come after former Free National Movement cabinet minister and parliamentarian Dame Janet Bostwick's claim that the FNM isn't fully united. She asserts, though, that while the party has a good chance of winning the next general election, she warns it won't be easy. Former FNM Deputy Prime Minister and Cabinet Minister Brent Simonet agrees. He added that this isn't the same FNM that lost the 2021 general election.
I think they lost supporters because of Ministers messed up the last election. The question now is gaining them back to vote for the FNM. That's why the FNM lost the last election, because they lost that support, and the voter turnout is very low. So the question now is, are the FNM supporters content, the new leadership, and are they willing to come out and vote?
Meantime, Progressive Liberal Party leader, Prime Minister the Honorable Philip Davis, has only said the next general election is coming soon, while PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell has suggested it could just be weeks away. For the Bahamas Tonight, I'm Leah Cooper.
Let's be clear about these particular things as what Dwayne Sands says is inaccurate information. He has a responsibility in his capacity as the chairman of the organization to be able to provide you with the perception, the idea, the tone that there is not just stability, but civility. Jesus, I got to calm down. Not just stability, but civility. Neither exist in the FNM at this particular juncture. Yeah. If we're going to be very honest, I think that the political landscape across the aisle they're all going through a tumultuous period. This is turbulence that for some of them is unknown. Yeah, for some persons it's unknown. I wouldn't be surprised if there are one or two candidates who've decided that they won't run anymore. Similar to what we would have seen with in the past. We know that Kenyatta Gibson would have been able to step back for personal reasons. And we've recently seen that the COI has had two candidates to be able to step back. But this is going to be tumultuous. There are persons that I'm speaking to now who were not given the ratification for the FNM more specifically. I'm not just talking about generally, who weren't given ratifications by the FNM or the PLP. I'm talking about the FNM. There are persons who are in the Free National Movement right now who were not given the ratification for the organization. And what happened is that in hindsight always being 2020, as they look at sort of this tumultuous position that's happening from a social standpoint and really being able to identify that people don't necessarily have a footing, and that it seems as though there's going to be a significant social media presence in this particular election with the manipulations of persons and putting them in peculiar and precarious positions with AI and DALL-E and all these graphics and so forth and so on. It could add another dynamic to these particular things. All of these things are causing persons to say things like, well, I guess this was informing. Yeah, boy, thank God. I think this was God was keeping me from this. Yeah, so there are these conversations that's going on right now that in retrospect, people are content and sort of excited about the fact that they are no longer participating from a frontline perspective. They was eager, listen, if they had gotten a nomination, you wouldn't hear none of these things. But I guess through a little bit of soul searching and trying to be able to identify a reason why this separation happened to you, the only thing that you can do is just kind of, throw your hands up and yield yourself to what's happening in this environment, right? So praise God. And then you get kind of, let that go. But the truth is that there is a veil that exists between the organization for the Free National Movement. And, this may be difficult. I'm hoping one day, even if someone rummages through the archives of this history, of this particular time and dispensation, 150 years if life lasts, 50 years if life lasts, 75 years if life lasts, that someone will be able to rummage through the archives and try to figure out why was Howard so hard on them, and with information that they would have been able to have from a futuristic standpoint understand why my convictions exist in this position to expect more from the Free National Movement. I expect more from the Free National Movement. And you have been lackluster at every single juncture. And I don't know whether or not I could put all that on Michael Pintard's shoulder. This relentless and perpetual infighting has placed you in an unrecognizable position. There is disunity and disloyalty in the Free National Movement. Dwayne Sands, in his particular capacity, Dr. Dwayne Sands, would have said something at the onset that we hurt some people. And then he goes on to say, in the last administration, the hurt for those people did not only exist in the last administration. The disdain and this sort of an idea that you've created to be able to separate yourself and elevate yourself from the crew, you have done that to a great deal of people. You are not a party for the grassroots. You're just not. And grassroots people need to know that this FNM party is not for you. They didn't create this for you. You wasn't in mind for these things. They speak of you in such a manner where it's never inclusive, that you have a division that you're relegated to. Yeah. Our base is set. Like you're separate and apart. Like we can identify you. We know what we have to do to be able to get you guys riled up by being able to throw red meat on the floor and get you excited for these particular things. We throw something that to be able to tantalize you. We put these particular things out there and then we set you up. We're using you for our objectives. But truly, the Free National Movement has no place for you. They just don't. They don't. Every church service that you would have gone to, every time you would have asked Leon Wallace and other members, Patterson or whoever else had any affiliation, any close proximity to leadership and was able to speak to Dr. Minnis beforehand, men and women of the cloth that had good proximity to Dr. Minnis, every time FNMs get a chance, they talk to these people to ask Minnis to don't forget us. It's the grassroots people. Please don't forget us. Please don't forget us. You guys have the worst memory in the world because you were forgotten. And you have been forgotten. And your significance comes when the election day is called for you to be able to cast your vote and distribute t-shirts for us. There's no place for you. No, there's just no place for you. It's unfortunate, but that's what it is. We're not talking about the exception. We're not talking about the one or two people who this one or that one like, or who is someone child or this, and you'll be able to accommodate them, and then you build up a rapport with them. And we're not talking about that. We're talking about the general concept that exists that says, oh, I'm good. We don't want this. We don't. No. We don't need that. I'm good. There's a veil that's being torn in the organization, a veil that separates the traditionalists and the old guard from the enthusiastic and optimistic new guard. There's a veil that separates them. Janet Bostwick is speaking from political science perspective, historical data and information, understanding the way that things go and being able to look over from 1982, 43 years as a politician in this country. She would have known and identified these people, these types of people. It's the truth. It's the truth. You may be indifferent with these particular things, but Janet Bostwick is going to tell you the truth. She is too old, gracefully, to start lying now. It don't make no sense. It don't make no sense. If she does it, there's a different story, but it don't make no sense. She is absolutely accurate and correct. Dr. Dwayne Sands is delusional. Will you take the word of Dr. Dwayne Sands, who is a guru when it comes to winning, politically and otherwise? Would you take this information from him and ascribe it to your chest and your life for political and social preservation? I wouldn't trust my life in his hands as it relates to having to make a determination who should go, or whether or not you're going to win, or whether or not you're going to, it's just, it's too much. It's just too much for me. I got to be able to be honest with you. It's too much for me. It's too much for me. And I look at this and I identify these things, and I try to be able to make this determination. I try to be able to look at it with optimism. I try to be able to see these things, but I listen to Dr. Dwayne Sands. I listen to these men and women that continue to be able to talk about that. I don't know whether or not you're following a historic concept or whether or not you're just allowing emotion to lead you. Dr. Dwayne Sands is giving the perception of what a chairman should be. I promise you. The information, as optimistic as it possibly can be, fails the accuracy test. It fails. It fails the accuracy test. I believe Brent Simonet, who's optimistic and understands these particular things and wants to be able to move towards victory, but he understands that there's some challenges and we need to be able to do some things and we need to identify exactly what's what. I think Janet Bostwick is saying the exact same thing. But they needed a target, and Minnis was that target. Now, I don't want to be able to alleviate Minnis of the wrong that he sowed. The Word of God spoke to us about being able to sow discord among the brethren. But not only he did that, Hubert Ingram sowed discord among the brethren also. We all forgave him for that. I forgave him for that. There's a discord that's being sowed among the brethren, and you want to be able to blame Dr. Hubert Minnis for that. I think that the indifference that existed between you and in you existed far longer than Dr. Minnis. Your proximity has placed you in a position of being able to jockey for what you believe is yours, what you believe you should get. Yeah, your position has placed you in that kind of that space. Good afternoon, Howard. The FNM has set up the PLP to win back all their grassroots areas by ratifying weak candidates in grassroots areas. That's a strong text you sent me just now. Another text is coming through. I think that it will be a dogfight in some areas. In other areas, the PLP will mollywop them. The thing the Free National Movement needs to do is to try to gain ground in some areas that are on the fence, because in other areas, those races are over for them. This is very different from 2017. The PLP has been saying that this is not 2017. They are laser focused on retaining the government and are avoiding major flops and mistakes. The Free National Movement can't coast on them messing up. Not this time. They actually have to work for this. Yep. That's why having women in the room is always important. Two of the men threw it down, and the women looked at this. I suppose they're talking about the my candidacy information that I give to the Free National Movement. This is they can never be good. Yeah. Threw it down, and the difference, they looked at it. They can never convince me that capable women can't lead this country. C.A. Smith was always... Oh, my God. I'm not going to read this. Yeah. I'm not... I got C.A. Men are men. Men are men. I need you to understand that. I need you to have a very clear understanding that men are men. Okay? That's hard for my wife to understand. We used to have arguments about men being men. Yeah. We used to have arguments about that. Right? Like, I see things different. Listen, I can't conceive something in a different manner. I see things differently. And I believe that the way I see things is accurate and correct. You understand? That's just what it is. I see things differently. I hear things differently. Hold on, I can answer this one. I see and I hear things a little different. Thanks so much for calling the foundation. This is Howard Grant. You're on with us live. Go ahead. I'm on live.
Oh my God.
I'm on live, my brother. You called me on my phone. I'm right up on here, Market Street. I send you the pin. Right on Market Street. When you come down under the overpass, is on the left-hand side. It's a very quick corner. You can't miss my building. It's like an aqua building. And you could see a white fence in the front with my car out in the front there, my SD. I'm right here.
So I'm by that old hotel.
Scooch down just a little bit. You can see some white paint on the wall right there. Scooch down just a little bit. And then it's a very quick turn between... It's a very quick turn between two buildings.
This is after the hotel?
Yeah, after you pass the hotel. Headed south.
Okay.
Okay? It's a very quick turn between two-story buildings.
Okay.
Okay, no problem. Yeah. So let's just be clear about these things. Let's talk about these things and identify this. I wish the FNM all the best. If I can be honest with you, I hope that the Free National Movement loses the next general election. Not because I hate them or I'm mad at them, but it's going to have to take something for you to be able to wake up and understand that there are more things that are important than merely just finding yourself in this kind of a position that you're fighting for something. Guys, gotta let me take a quick commercial break. When we get back, we can dive into a little bit more right after this.
Taking Bahamian music to the world. This DJ. Taking Bahamian music to the world. This DJ Sampler. Hit that subscribe button like a goat skin drum.
Hello, Ricky. It's Johnny Gate. It's Johnny Gate, man. Listen, don't believe they're trying to keep us locked down. Everyone let's go inside the kill.
What we gonna do right here is go back. Way back. Back into time.
Oh, your beautiful sand. Oh, Cat Island. You are the highest, oh, in all the land. Going back to Cat Island, visit Dumfries Hill, where old folks smoke their pipes and dance a drill. If you want to go along, so you could see how them people live so peacefully. Oh la le la la, oh la le la le la la, oh la le la la, oh la le la le la la, oh Cat Island, your rolling hills, oh your beautiful sands. Oh, Cat Island, you are the highest, oh, in all the land. They got a rake and scrape band, keep you on the go. They just call themselves Lassie Do. One play the concertina, one beat the goat skin drum, one make the guitar talk, while one rake the saw. Oh la le la la, oh la le la le la la, oh la le la la, oh la le la le la la, oh Cat Island, you're rolling hill.
And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, jamming with you. This is the Foundation. Grateful to be in your presence. Grateful to be with you as we continue to be able to jam. You can see who we have on. Adrian joined us today. He was coming to bring by just to kind of do something with me. So he said, let me just jump on for 2 seconds. Talking to Mike, let me see if I can get a proper tone for you.
Let me see if I can get a proper tone for you. Adrian.
Go ahead.
Adrian Vincent Francis in your company. So glad to have you join me. Welcome to the future. With
The
Howard Grant.
future. The future. Yeah, so Adrian, guys, if you don't know, you should know by now. Adrian is definitely on. Oh, my level speaking. Right? Adrian is definitely on ZNS, and he does a show called The Future, which is from 4 to 5?
4 to 5.
4 to 5. 4 to 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
And, I'm sure that you do know. I'm on the rundown, and we do that in the evening. Grateful for the opportunity to be able to go out there. A lot of people identify this as a sort of a political ploy, but I think it's important that we have a very good conversation about national growth and development. And I've always enjoyed, conversations with Adrian in that particular state. Adrian, we're talking about Janet Bostwick and her position. And I talk about this sort of an idea that I see that there is sort of a veil being torn in the Free National Movement between the older guard, which the experience and understanding of what exists in this particular space, and they can be able to give through calculation and experience that, hey, listen, we could see something that is going contrary, going awry. And then a younger guard, which has some inexperience, and their experience is not necessarily the victory that the Free National Movement enjoys from time to time, but being able to say almost naively, in a naive posture, yeah, we can win. We're positioned to win. We can win these particular things. And I talk about none other than Dwayne Sands being able to talk like that. So tell me your thoughts. Let me know your thoughts on that.
Well, first of all, I did a show yesterday on this entire process. And the entire show was centered around a fractured FNM. And this has been the posture of the Free National Movement for the better part of the last 30 years, going into most of the elections, always some kind of a split from Tommy T and me. I only remember that song, Tommy T and
I can remember
me.
Tommy T and me.
It wasn't him and Ingram.
No.
So-
It was only me and him.
Yeah.
That was it.
The challenge is, from Ingram came into the FNM.
Yeah.
There's been several fractions and factions inside the Free National Movement, and for the most part,
I feel like it's by design, by the way. I just want to say that.
you think it's by design.
No, it can't just happen. It doesn't just happen. It has to be strategic. You have to identify someone who has the tenacity to be able to stand at the forefront and challenge some things and fight for you and do all these particular things. Even after he steps down from leadership, there are advocates in the organization that continues to fight for him. It has to be by design.
I don't think he wants to retire. And I'm gathering from a post that was sent to me yesterday. I don't think he wants to retire. And I believe that he wants to do the Obama thing or the Bill Clinton thing, where you run the party from behind. And that's part of what they call power manipulation. And yes, you have somebody in the front. But if you can't...
But they don't. FNMs don't never like to talk about. He is the proverbial Wizard of Oz that exists behind the curtain, and he's pulling the strings and he's playing the organ and he's doing all these particular things behind the curtain. Now, all you see is the theatrics at the forefront until the curtain falls. But FNMs who are responsible for behind the scenes, they'll say to you, Hubert Ingram isn't involved. Why are they lying?
I think for the most part, the older I get, the more I realize the difficult it is to be off the scene. And there are persons, if you check the church, if you check black people's history, they don't want to go. Pastors don't want to retire. They have to die right in the pulpit when they say, amen. And so you get to the place where you have to be so comfortable leaving. Jesus was so comfortable. He left. He said, I must leave. I must go away. If you got leaders who must go away, there's a video going around with Hubert Ingram saying that it's because of him that Minister was the leader of the FNM. It was because of him that Minister was the prime minister. You got to understand, though, the Bible says that it's in him that we live and move in our very being. All leadership is ordained and raised up by God. But when you get to the place where someone can make a bold public statement that someone's leadership is because of you. Now, you may have influenced it based on your present position, but because it was because of you, you have to be very careful. Whoever appoint can also disappoint. And you have to be careful who feeds you. They remind others that you were hungry. And so I believe that this spirit is being rejected by Michael Pintard, and I also believe it was rejected by Dr. Menace. And so now you have Honorable Dame Janet comes out and talk about the faction. She didn't go far enough to say that, you know something?
She wouldn't know. She's very graceful.
Yeah, she's very graceful.
Yeah,
but she did not go to the extent where she really want to say, okay, man, this division thing killing the FNM.
Yeah. Yeah, and I believe her, and I agree with her 100%. But the truth of the matter is as we look at these particular things, there are some people in the Free National Movement believe, based upon what's happening over the past 3 election, 4 election, 5 election cycles, that the Free National Movement is poised for victory. No matter what happened, no matter preparation, no matter all these particular things, the Free National Movement is poised for victory, and we will be victorious come next general election.
You know, the situation with Loretta Butler Turner, which was another faction, the way they treated Loretta Butler Turner, I thought was disgraceful. I thought they handled her disgracefully, and I think what goes around comes back around. Cast your bread upon the water, not after many days you'll see it again. Do unto others, so you have them do unto do. Judge not that you be not judged. All those, the laws of reciprocity, things come back to haunt you. And what has happened to the Free National Movement, Dr. Menace, Michael Pintard, Mr. Ingram, the Ingram era is done, so he come back, tit for tat. Menace is done, one and done. And it does not bid well for a formidable grouping who want to lead the country.
It seems to me that these men lack grace. They lack this kind of an honor that we continue to bestow upon them. They lack the grace of recognizing that their time within themselves. I shouldn't have to say to you, Adrian, your time is done.
Well, you know, I'll be by Boston Celtic watching all the Celtic games. You think I got time for all that?
But if a fella got to come to you and tell you something like, hey, listen, your time is done. And you like, is it? I didn't know. Listen, it comes a time for you to be able to separate yourself. It comes time for you to be able to recognize, okay, I've done my part. Now let me be able to move off the scene. Like you said, I don't think anyone should die like how Miles Monroe would have been able to tell us, with the baton in your hand. I don't think anyone should die in that kind of a posture.
Yeah,
the Free National Movement has not been able to be good mentors over the past 4 decades. We haven't seen the level of mentorship that should be able to come out of the organization. Once in a while, you see Maurice Moore being able to identify some, but who they identify as mentorship is what they call a horse in the race. They're not taking their time and developing people. They're not taking their time and presenting themselves to the torchbearers. They're not taking their time and doing this. So you have a lot of egos that continue to be able to arouse themselves in the organization.
What is the value of the torchbearers? I'm a sports idiot, and because I watch a lot of sports, I know that the Boston Celtics have a minor league team called the Maine Red Claws.
G League.
A G League team called them the Red Claws, right? Maine. And so they would put younger persons in that system to develop them to come to the big league.
Well, that's what they were going to do with Bronny also. Bronny would have been able to go to the big league, and they find himself in this position in LA and saying, hey, listen, why don't you kind of work yourself out in the G League, right?
And then work yourself up.
And then work yourself back up to these particular positions. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, the challenge is the torchbearers and the young liberals are supposed to be the G League of these organizations. But if you're going to eat your chick as a chicken, then at the end of the day, you hope to be around forever. And so, I don't know. We get to the place now where sometimes we discuss the discussion. And obviously, the FNM, they're challenged right now in the situation they're in. And I think Michael Pentard is challenged because he don't own the Free National Movement. It's still owned by Mr. Ingram. And until he went, and he can actually begin to dictate what he wants left or right. Right now, he don't even control the donors.
No, he doesn't control anything. And from I see persons like Brent Simonet being able to come to the forefront, that is sort of a bittersweet moment for me. Because I know once Brent gets active and he starts to be able to articulate a particular position and identify these things and comes close to doing these things, then donors and sponsorship and finances follows Brent Simonet. Not necessarily that they don't have to come out of his pocket, but because there are some people that sees him
from
that come in with him.
Sources tell you straight up, it don't come with it. They say Brent's so cheap, you could actually spell it. They say Brent Tightman. So don't come from him. He does have the influence.
But his activation and his
he has the influence
causes the money to be able to come in. Okay? And so when I see that is a good thing from the financial standpoint. You get the capital to be able to do what you want to do. However, seeing Brent Simonet also indicates to me that there is the hand of Hubert Ingram that is very close.
Yeah,
seeing Brent Simonet says to me that the expectations
I don't think he likes Dr. Menace.
Have.
I don't think Brent likes Dr. Menace.
No, there's a sort of a condescension that's in the back of his voice every time I hear him talk about.
He told me one time he would have done everything and ensured that Menace never came back.
I don't wonder why.
And we were talking outside the front of immigration one day. He said he'll do it, whatever. And I like to say where I was when you talk to me so people know I ain't lying. And I'll show you the picture of me and him in the front of immigration. But he said to me, though, that I don't think he's enamored with Dr. Menace.
I don't know why.
Doc don't want, this is my gap, I don't think Doc wants to be tied to the oligarch system. The challenge is, though, in order for
He
you
should
to
have
win.
chose a different organization.
Yeah, but in order for you to win, though, in the Free National Movement, the oligarchs are always lurking. And so you have to decide whether or not.
You have to know that.
Yeah, but how do you win an election? How do you get your 25 to 30 million to run an election? Elections are not cheap.
No.
Ask the COI. The only seat they will win is the seatbelt.
Why you like the bottom of the CII so much?
No, because it ain't about the bottom of them. It's money I'm talking about. They ain't got no money. You need money. Howard.
This Texas says Howard Brent supported Loretta. We know that.
Of course.
We know that.
And would she have made a better leader? 10 times over?
Yeah.
She is smooth. She is deliberate, she's articulate, she is smart, she understands debate. She never went to the House of Assembly unprepared. She took on major issues.
Hubert Ingram said that. She didn't prepare.
So she did not prepare.
Yeah, Hubert Ingram said that about her. That she's very good, but she doesn't do her homework.
I don't, I spend a lot of time in Parliament. I never gathered that.
She's very articulate, very fluid, and because I suppose that he knows the information intimately.
Maybe because
he
she
could
was
say that to us.
Yeah.
But when we listen to her, we don't know that this is lack of preparation. She's good to go.
Yeah, as a cabinet minister, he would probably know whether she's prepared based on subjects.
Yes. Right, and we see those particular things. I'm reading a couple of the texts. It says, "Good afternoon again, Howard. The Free National Movement will win the election, but we'll wish that they had put up a better fight because the PLP will still have 14 to 18 seats in the House of Assemblies." This is the text is coming through.
Yeah, I don't see.
I don't see that.
I don't see it either. I am, my understanding, I'm more than likely that's probably a supporter. But I'll tell you, yesterday I traversed 7 constituencies yesterday. I believe all the elections go through Pinewood. And Pinewood is the south, takes you straight south.
That's a difficult thing to be able to navigate. No member of parliament has ever been able to retain the seat a second time.
The challenge,
and I don't know if Miles LaRota.
The point.
It's almost like he's in the perfect storm, though.
Yeah, the challenge. The point I was making is, if you go through Pinewood, you got Bamboo Town, you got Nassau Village, you got South Beach, and you got Golden Gates, Golden Isles, Southern Shores, and all of them. But all the elections go through that, and so I don't see, if you fall short in Pinewood, I don't see you losing Bamboo Town, Nassau Village. I don't see you losing the other southwestern belt.
You're talking about, you don't see the PLP losing.
Yeah, I don't see the PLP losing them.
Bamboo Town.
Yeah, based on the text. Though.
Okay.
And so if the Progressive Party is successful in the South, it'll be a wave.
That's what I said. And I think Obi is going to have challenges. Obi and I got to be able to have a conversation. He's supposed to come sit with me on the rundown, but I think that he's going to have some challenges for no other reason than you're going up against a woman. And maybe she cut some charm on. I don't know. I think both of them in the constituency right now.
Oh, that's a bad candidate, man. Denley Penn is the worst candidate got out Blue Breton.
No, but a lot of people say...
No, she's evil. She's evil. She's evil.
You keep saying that about this woman.
Yeah, no, she's evil. She will tie your name to a dead person, too. Denley Penn is not a good person.
I can't agree with you.
She's not.
I don't know how to say
Listen,
yay or nay.
I have one of the things I always say when I make the statements about her, I only want her to come after me. And then, just how I go after
But she went after Dave.
No, she didn't go after Dave.
Dave Major?
She didn't go after Dave. Dave don't go in the kind of gym I was going.
Oh, you should go in a different type of gym.
I was going gym where the weights are very heavy. I don't lift like weights. And so if she come after me, she know I got some documents.
No, I'm saying that she is prepared to do that because we've seen her take a step to do that before.
I would like to see her do that.
But you keep calling the woman evil. It seems like you have like a
No, I have evidence that she's
agenda.
evil. No,
Wow.
I have evidence that she's evil. If one person should not go to Parliament, it should be her.
Yeah, so you think Obi Roberts is going to win over
am,
that simply because of this?
You can. I don't know whether Obi is going to win. I think he have a climb. I think he have a battle.
Yeah.
I do
like
believe,
Janet Boswick said.
Yeah, I think he has a battle. The challenge that people have is that at the end of the day, we've been demanding quality from people not qualified, and we need to ensure that you can't just want to go to Parliament. The question is, what have you done prior to? David became king after he killed Goliath, not before. And so history should actually drive you to destiny.
Let's take the Southern Corridor and let's have a quick conversation about it before we get out of here because I can go when you go. All right? Let's talk about this. Let's look at St. James. What you got for St. James?
I'm disappointed in Shenandoah, Cartwright,
Why?
that he would have left St. Barnabas. I think I said this to you before. simply because.
But he had to leave.
No, he didn't have to. He
He
chose
can
to.
stay there and take his cut behind, is what you're saying.
No, I believe if persons would have elected you to Parliament long enough for you to get pension, you ought.
He already got his pension, he's straight.
That's the point.
Yeah.
If they elected you long enough to get your pension, you should be able to face them, even if you would lose.
But he's in a quagmire, though. He has a desire in his youth. In his youth, he's in his 40s. He's not 50 yet. In his youth, he has been given an opportunity at the cusp, just being able to come face to face with the threshold before he can step over to real leadership. So he is a deputy leader in the Free National Movement, in a time that the party is tumultuous, in a time that there is uncertainty about the leadership of the organization, in
You
a
will,
time
not, you will not rise to lead it.
he probably may not, but that
The person who-
ain't mean that his
the person-
aspiration
yeah.
shouldn't be
Yeah,
there.
you could have aspiration all you want. I want an aspirin. It ain't because I got a headache. The reality is,
He can aspire. I think
yeah,
he has,
no,
he has
listen,
some good chances.
Shenandoah is a good friend, old friend. The challenge I believe that they have with Shenandoah is the leaks is that he met with Brave Davis, according to sources.
Yeah. Some sources have said that to me also.
Yeah, that he's been meeting. He met with Brave Davis on several occasions. I don't think he's trusted in this.
But let's air it out properly though, because the sources has not just said that he's met with Brave Davis. The Free National Movement, based upon the information I received, is trying to be able to dismantle him. In fact, in the last convention, there were certain persons who were making calls around that says, why don't this particular person run for deputy leader, and we'll find the support to support that particular person, and don't worry about Shannon Dawn, he'll be all right. Shannon Dawn had been rejected at the last Free National Movement convention in 2024. They ain't even let Shannon Dawn, who was the deputy leader, who walk in, speak. You know that?
No, he didn't speak because, for the most part, I don't think he's trusted.
But you still can't do that. You got to hold up certain tenets and whatnot in the organization.
Tenets well.
They ain't let the man speak.
Listen, there are no tenets in politics. You got to be careful, man. There are no tenets in politics. They had a very interesting lady run for president of the United States. Everybody knew she didn't even go to a primary. She was appointed. And so you know what happened there? She got jokes. The game is very subtle. It's a subtle game, buddy. When you get in this, put on your big boy drawers.
Yeah.
Because you ain't coming in this trying to sneak through no back door.
Yeah.
You come in and
But
you get...
there is a level of integrity that we expect you to uphold.
From where?
But it ain't look like it exists no more.
You know the
My
word integrity
God.
means? It means to become whole. It means to integrate your character and all the other things that go with it.
But let's talk about this now. So it is alleged, based upon information that we received from the same backdoors that is be talking to Iran, based upon these backdoors, that Shannon Dawn has been in conversation with the PLP. We've heard that.
I don't think he won a nomination.
Shannon Dawn wants to retain his political career. It has become his lifeline.
Yeah, I mean...
This is a job now. It's a job that he does fairly well.
I'll tell you one thing. If he ain't saved no money, based on your original question, if he didn't save any money, chances of him beating Owen, I think is kind of slim. I don't think he's going to beat Owen Wells.
Now let's take a couple of things in the perspective. Shannon Dawn is a consummate politician. He does this. He's articulate. He is light-skinned, curly-haired. He got a little bit
no curly hair.
smile.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's
The hair that he have, it curly.
No, that ain't curly.
He is light-skinned.
You try, if you want to
And
make
the
a case,
gals like him.
if you want to make a case for Shannon Dawn, right? Yeah, guys like
Shannon Dawn is a politician.
The reason why I can't get a girlfriend today is because girls like chunky guys, and you only fighting for chunkiness now.
You need to go eat a sandwich then. You'll be all right. Just
No, I don't need to eat a sandwich. I have a soup.
soup ain't working. You need bread, sir. You need
No,
bread.
I don't want no bread. You fighting for Shannon Dawn, Cartwright, because of your chunkyism.
No, I ain't fighting for him.
Chunkyology.
Let me tell you why. I watch Owen, right? Owen Wells. I think he's articulate. I think he's insightful. I think he's experienced in a great deal in his profession. I think he's very good at what he does. I know that he will be successful in politics, but I'm looking at the challenge as to whether or not Shannon Dawn has already gone through riding his bicycle up and down, already gone through the rhythm of what needs to be said.
Why you ride his bicycle up and down in St. Barnabas?
That's where he started.
And you
where he
riding
started.
all the way out west?
That's where he started. He started in St. Barnabas.
I would believe that he would ride that bike from
I
St.
think we
Barnabas
need to
all
stop-
the way to St. James. I would believe that if I see one less piece of bread. That means you would have lost some weight riding the bicycle all the
Now,
way to St.
watch me,
James. That-
watch me. Let's not be delusional.
I'm not being delusional.
He cannot beat Michael Pintard in St. Barnabas. He could never
Michael
beat him again.
Alcides.
Michael Alcides, I'm sorry. He could never beat Michael Alcides in St. Barnabas.
And he
no
can't beat
more.
Owen Wells in St. James.
Owen Wells just reached. He have a better chance.
No, that's why.
At being able to go.
People that know he's
I
a
don't know,
lifelong
fella.
politician, they don't know about all. Listen, why would Shenandoah have a conversation with the PLP? This is no knock on Shannon, so please, I don't want nobody come at me. The reality is, if you would have gone through some of the charges and some of the allegations and accusations that were out there, I would have a conversation with the Prime Minister too.
This is the back channels who keep talking to us, eh?
And so you got to understand that.
These are back channels.
So you have to understand that Shannon ain't crazy. Right? I've known Shannon from he's a youngster. He's not crazy. And so you have to bear in mind, man, that this is economics right now. And so if Shenandoah think that he's going to, he probably have plenty of money to go take on Owen up in the back there. You need money.
Well, we can see, and we can see. I think Owen Wells is going to do good. I think that's one of the races that we need to watch. Let's go very quickly. We got 13 minutes. Let's look at.
Go ahead.
Well, we can do 10 minutes. I ain't got no problem. But let's take the back road. Let's look at Golden Isles. Do you think that Darren Pickstock could be able to retain this particular position, or you believe that the third time is the charm for Brian Brown?
I think the three of those, they said they ain't trying no Brian. Anyhow, people already
Brian
said
getting back again.
Brian Brown and Brian were going back. But the people already said they ain't trying no Brian. I don't know what you're going for, but anyhow, I do believe that the three challenging seats in the administration would be Southern Shores, Golden Isles, and St. James. They're the three that I would focus on in the major.
Now we only talking about on the back road, on that the Southern Corridor, okay?
Yeah.
So Southern Shores, Golden Isle,
And St. James.
and St. James.
If you want to throw Kalani in there, because that's where the cut is. The cut is Kalani, so
I think Robin has that in my estimation.
I believe she will win it too, because I
think
think
she has
Dr.
that.
Minister going to do extremely well.
Dr. Minister will do well, but he ain't get no cigar.
I tell you one thing. If Doc think he's losing, he's going to ensure Barnett Ellis is losing also.
His presence alone will ensure that Barnett Ellis is going to lose.
He will not endorse. And then, of course, you got that chocolate bar and the two Godiva.
She's going to get about 750 to about 850 votes.
Godiva? Dr. Godiva, you think so?
Dr. MacGyver.
Dr. MacGyver.
Yeah.
You think she's going to get him up?
Yeah, she's going to get anywhere between 600 to 850
I like
votes.
Dr. MacGyver.
Yeah, she's going to get anywhere between 600 to 850 votes.
She's been a tremendous young
This could really put, if not in the last place, definitely second to last, Barnett Ellis in a very poor position. Now, she got to fight, and she got to smile, and she got to work, and she got to do what she have to do. And I know she can have her daddy. She can have her daddy working hard, walking up and down, campaigning for her. And Hubert Ingram got to come work hard to walk up and down and campaign for her. But I don't believe, and I believe that Hubert Ingram will be in that constituency because I think he has an interest in being able to see Hubert
he's already been up
one
and
and done.
Yeah, but you know, Papa will not be the one to determine the direction for that. Let's see.
I don't think so. I think we talked about this scientifically. We talked about this numerically. We said once Minnis shows up, he's going to get 1,000 votes right out the bat, right? Once Barnett Ellis shows up, she's going to get 1,500 votes right off the bat. Once Robin Lyons shows up, she's going to get 1,800 votes. So she ahead of them. If Robin Lyons could find 500 votes outside of that, she going to blow everyone out the water. If she could find 500 new voters to vote for her, to convince them that this is the way that we're going to go. If she could convince 500 people outside of the PLP's base in Kalani, she could win.
What are the numbers? What's the total we're looking at
In the constituency?
in Kalani?
6,000. Let's call it 6,000.
Okay.
6,000
I'll
people.
find out today when
Ministers
we're
get 2,500 votes. I have it right here. I can put it up right now. Ministers get 2,500, and I think 1 vote in the last election. 1,946 votes is how much Duncanson get running, right? 1,946 votes he got. Shelley Moss got like 33. Everyone else get like 30 and 30 something. It wasn't nothing heavy to be able to talk about. So the majority that we saw was about 1,946 for the PLP. This was the second time he ran,
I saw that.
and he kept getting this particular number. So if we look at that, we shave 150 off of that. Let's say about 150. We give Robin 1,800 votes, which is the PLP vote. She has to convince another 500-600 people to vote
So
for
you
her.
got 2,300, 2003.
And she could knock everybody out the park because none of them could pull 2,500. Ministers have to find 1,500 votes. 1,500 votes in that constituency. He can't do it. He can't do it. He don't have the time to do it.
But can Barnett Ellis?
Barnett Ellis got to find 1,000 votes.
But ministers have votes.
Of course, ministers have votes. That's what I'm trying to tell you. She
So
has
who
to.
votes?
If
votes?
Minister splits the vote because he shows up,
Who votes is Godiva have?
she has the independent votes. Remember,
Then-
she
yeah,
has the
she have
independent votes.
the disenchanted.
Yeah, the disenchanted people. Do you remember this is a progressive constituency
Yeah.
who really thinks about the next steps and what they want to
Robin
do.
Lyons
and
is
so
a
forth and so
superstar,
on,
I can
right?
tell you right now.
Robin Lyons is going to do well in the
She's a
constituency.
superstar.
She can find 500 votes.
She's the kind of female I would send to any constituency.
She could find 500 votes.
She
She's good.
have what I like about Robin Lyons, she defends quality, and she defends disenchantment. She stand up for women. She's very, very strong in standing up for women. You know, I think Barnett Ellis to me represent an inheritance. She's the inheritance of power. She's the inheritance of power, because Deal was in that constituency working, and he was sent to Freetown after doing all that work. And I think Deal would have done well because he put in a significant amount of work.
He still wasn't going to win. Let's just be
I don't
sure.
think he wasn't. I don't think he's going to win.
As long as Minister shows up, he will always be.
I'm just defending the
viewed-
fact that Deal would have gone there,
Yeah.
and they move him for.
And I said this to him, and he's a friend. I'm not going to fight him. He has a better chance in Freetown right now than he would have had when he showed up in Kalani, because once Minister was on the ticket, he will always be viewed as the campaign manager, or the campaign manager,
Yeah.
the campaign chairman, the water boy in a sense for Minister.
Wow.
Not in a bad way.
Yeah.
And so
No, I know
finding
what
his
you- I know
own
what you're saying.
independent position is the best thing that could have happened for him. Let's get to South Beach. Bacchus. I saw Bacchus the other day. I tell him, come check me out. And he said, okay, how would I come in? Now, let's talk about this. Between him and Darren.
I think Barker is going to beat Darren.
Why? Give me the why.
I think he is amongst all the other candidates, or ratified candidates. I think Barkers and Wade Watson and Lisa Raming, there are a few of them who spend their lives in their constituency. This young man, not only that, he's one of the few persons who would have given. He gives a financial report quarterly of all of his expenditures. This young man, he's become synonymous with the area. He's become synonymous with that area.
18 months ago, this was in the language they were speaking about Bacchus' role. I just want to be very clear with you.
Barker's role.
You know that.
No, you.
There was sort of a lull in expectations and being able to speak about him, and then it kind of picked back up.
Barker's role is the real deal. When you're in politics, when you got a lull, sometimes the daggers for that lull to be within or without. And whenever you're in this game, my friend, you are
Somebody
guardian
texted
ready.
and say, Howard Bacchus outworking Darren. Bacchus been there, and Darren took very long to get out of the blocks.
Listen,
He had to wait for Hubert Ingram when he's ready.
you have to wait to go. That flight from
He
Abaco
had
was
to
a
wait.
long flight.
He had to wait.
That was a long flight from Abaco. It's like you was coming from Dubai.
Somebody said, I think the way that they cut St. James favors Cartwright.
No. Why would I cut a constituency?
In favor of another candidate, yeah.
I mean, the logistics don't make sense.
It's going to be hard to be able to talk about. Let's see this. Say he has a lot of ground to make up. This is Darren. I think Darren is. I think.
I like Darren. All right, I
Darren
like him
is
as
good.
Yeah, I
He's-
like him
he's
as a
cool,
person.
but-
I think he brings a lot to the table. I
He
think
should have stayed
Parker's-
in Abaco.
Yeah, that was a long flight.
He needs to stay in Abaco.
That was a long flight from Abaco to
He
South
needs to
Beach.
stay in Abaco. He possibly compromised 2 seats by moving from Abaco because I understand that there's not this kind of an enthusiastic following for
The young lady?
Boodle up in
Yeah,
North Abaco.
she's going to be booted.
Right.
I was there.
Especially if Kai Mills is in the race.
I was there.
Kai Mills is going to take numbers away from her.
I keep killing himself. You know, guy's been doing some nonsense recently on.
But the fair is that politics is local. Nationally, we could be able to make an assessment about
No,
any and
I
everybody.
went there. I went there with Kai, and Kai told me that. Kai said to me, I was in Abaco a few weeks ago. He said to me that Craig Cornish is going to do better than most people think.
I think he is. I think Kirk Cornish is going to win.
I think he's going to win the seat.
I think Kirk Cornish is going to win. I can't say the same thing about Sylvius Petty, Sylvanus Petty, but I think Kirk Cornish is going to win. I think Kirk Cornish is going to win that constituency. I keep looking at it. There's two seats that I see that the PLP could pick up in Grand Bahama, and that is possibly Pine Ridge and West Grand Bahama. That's the only 2 possibilities I see at this point. Now, I could be
I think
wrong.
they stand a chance in Central Grand Bahama.
Ooh, Jesus, God Almighty, where you get this information?
I go on Central.
How the hell you can get this? Where the hell you get this information from?
I went Central. Let me tell you something. I think what happened, and as a matter of fact, some sources are telling me that some major donors.
You say sauces or sources because it got to be sauce. Chicken sauce.
No, Sheeptown, buddy. Listen, but the debacle with Michael Pentard in Grand Bahama the other day sent spinning wheels around some donors of the FNL. And
You mean what him in his desire to be able to back the Port Authority?
yeah, that was not taken well by the top.
Why did he do that? Why didn't he just stay out of this?
I told somebody the other day, I think the PLP should go for 5 after that. I would spend my time in Grand Bahama, and I would start clicking out the sow it.
You still can't do that though, because Grand Bahamian people, remember, when Lyndon Pinnon came there and was fighting for the Bend or Break speech for Grand Bahamian people to be liberated and see things outside of themselves, the Grand Bahamian people sided with the Port Authority.
Leave them for
They
another 5.
sided
You want
with...
to leave them for another 5 years with the port? Leave them for another 5 then.
You could leave them for another 55. It
Yeah.
don't make a difference. Grand Bahamian people are going to vote for the Free National Movement.
Well,
We can see this in 2 different spaces. Ginger is going to possibly to retain that seat only in the event that Frederick McAlpine is able to get 1,100, 1,200 votes against.
She's doing way better than I thought. I was
Only,
there.
listen.
I go to the constituencies. Let me tell you what you do, right? You go on the ground. And I like to go on the ground. Ginger will not snap. That's not Ginger's snap, buddy. She will not snap.
Well, we can see those particular things. I know one thing. Frederick McAlpine say he's working again.
Who's on your show tonight?
All right. The police association, the police staff association, they're coming to talk about some stuff with us. So they're going to be coming in tomorrow night. We're going to have a round table, and so I have someone from everyone in the parties. The Free National Movement hasn't called me and confirmed anybody just yet. They
I'm going to begin something on what you call standoff, and that's the 2 persons running in each constituency. I'm going to do standoff Fridays, where
you can bring them on.
I'm going to bring them on.
It should be interesting.
Yeah, I'm going to bring the 2 candidates in, and let's debate. Let's talk about it.
It should be interesting.
Let's talk about it.
Let's look at it. Well,
all right. So
I appreciate you, my brother.
Thank you so much.
This has been a great show.
Studio, man.
Right. You like my studio?
You're big time.
I ain't finished yet.
You're big time.
Got some more little cleaning up and fixing up and painting up.
You've laid a good foundation.
Yeah, I tried to be able to do
Fair
it.
play on words.
Well, guys, I want to thank you so very kindly for being able to tune in with us today. This is the show, The Foundation. I want to thank you so much. Make sure you tune in with me this evening as we jam and go over there on The Rundown on ZNS Network. I want to thank you guys so much. We're going to have a great conversation. See you again tomorrow right here on The Foundation. Have a great day, guys.
I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahama land to the foundation.